the Bab was 25 years when he declared his mission. 25 years. And on very first night of his declaration, he shared with his wife what is going to happen to him. He said what's going to happen to him is very sad. And so you have to be strong to tolerate it, to be able to bear it. She begged the Bab and said that I can't do that. How I can protect it? And it's very interesting. Bab revealed this tablet of Halman Mufarrajan Bayn Allah. Is there any remover of difficulties? Save God, say praise be God. He said he revealed this tablet for his wife, and he said whenever you are sad and you cannot bear it, read it. This is such beauty of this prayer that for us. So he knew, my point is that he so clearly knew what's going to happen to him. After he declared, immediately he left. We know that history. He left with Qudus. He left to the Mecca to go to the shrine. When he came back, his letters of the living became spread all over. When he came back, there were thousands of Babis. Imagine how it's possible. He just declared to few people, 18 people, and he left. When he came back, there were thousands of Babis all over, just because of those people. Because people were so thirsty, they were begging for this message of God that come, and when he came, they understood and they said, now that. Then, immediately, he was sent to exile, to prison, and the king decided that he is dangerous. The prime minister decided that his presence is dangerous, so they put him in prison in Maku, and later on in Chehir, and he was there when he revealed Persian Bayan and Arabic Bayan in Maku, and he declared his mission. From that Maku, he wrote to Shah of Iran, that he was his prison. He wrote to him, he said, thou hast watched in a tablet, he says, thou hast watched me in the heart of this mountain, where I am compassed by mountains on all sides. One hangeth above me, others stand on my right and my left, and yet another riseth in front of me. Glory be unto thee, no God is there but thee. How often have I seen rocks from the mountain hurtling down upon me, and thou didst protect me therefrom, and preserved me within the stronghold of thy divine unity. Then he says, I swear by thy glory. To me, the prison had proved to be naught but the most delightful garden of paradise. Now imagine, there is no one greenery on this mountain, it's only rocks, dark rocks everywhere, and rocks everywhere, because the fort is built inside a cavity. The mountain is cantilever over the forest, the fort, and of course the prison of Baha'u'llah, that I was told you that he was going to this prison where he chose the location of the shrine. Now imagine, right when he was on that prison, Bob said that he sees the most beautiful mountain, paradise that he could imagine. Now, anyhow, the king decided that even in that prison is dangerous, so they killed him. And the story of martyrdom and all of that, you know, all of that. And it's very interesting. Right at that time, what we know is majority of the people of Iran were his believers, based on recorded history of enemies of the Baha'is, not by Baha'is. Majority of the people at the time of martyrdom of the Bab, they gradually, but they hide themselves and they were underground because of all of the persecution that followed everything that came there. Anyhow, but the martyrdom of the Bab was not the end of the story, it was just beginning of the story. Right at that time, it's so, the Shah instructed that all of the believers of the Bab should be killed and destroyed, or they have to recant and all of that. And you know the story that happened. Eventually, Baha'u'llah was sent to this prison himself, and all of that. And when he was on Mount Carmel, he told Abdul Baha that he has two major missions. Abdul Baha himself says that I understood from Baha'u'llah that he wants me two things. First one, to bring the body of the Bab on this mountain. This was his first duty, Abdul Baha himself says. His second duty was to introduce the faith to the West. That he brought the faith to the United States and Europe and everywhere that he was there, so that the cause of God become international. He did that. Now, it's so interesting. The story of life of Bab and the shrine of the Bab is written now in 3 volumes of a book that has just, during last 1.5 years, have been published. There are 3 volumes. Volume number 1 is Journey to a Mountain, written by Mr. Michael Day, from originally New Zealand, but he's living in Australia now, Michael Day. He has written the first volume, Journey to a Mountain. This is the story of the journey of the body of the Bab from that beach in Tabriz to Mount Carmel. And it's so amazing. 60 years. For 60 years. Imagine entire military of the country was looking for anything important, anything related to Bab to destroy. Yet Babis could hide his body from one place to another. It's so interesting story of this book. Really, I recommend you buy these 3 books and read it. Number 1 is Journey to a Mountain. All 3 of them are published by George Ronald. Another one is Coronation on Carmel, which is construction of the shrine of the Bab, by Abdul Baha and by Beloved Guardian, the buildings. And the last one that is just now out of print, has come out, is Sacred Stairway. Sacred Stairway is the story of the terraces of the shrine of the Bab which was built. Very, very interesting. All 3 of these books are really quite an interesting book. And this story of, imagine, the most important, I mean, if I ask you what was the most important responsibility of Abdul Baha, it wouldn't come to my mind that to bring body of the Bab. Because this is the center of universe, Baha'u'llah says, to Beloved Guardian said. He wanted this to come like that. And then it came, and imagine that the story is how Abdul Baha himself, when Abdul Baha built the main body of the shrine, those 6 rooms under the basement, when he built that, he decided to bring the body of the Bab to Akka, bring it out of the country. Imagine you want to carry a body out of the country, all of that from there to bring it to Akka. And you want nobody understand what is this. Not only enemies of the Baha'is should not understand anything, most dangerous people, guess who were the most dangerous people that should not know about it? Babis and Baha'is. Baha'is, they were most dangerous. Abdul Baha was planning so secretly to do something, and the minute that Baha'is would understand that something is like that, all of them would go to visit this holy, oh my God, the body of the Bab. They wanted to, so Abdul Baha should have hide it. The whole story is that how one place to another place, believe me, really detective story is more interesting. That how Abdul Baha did it. With secret codes. He would say that he would tell to his to the person that would bring the body. He would tell him that whatever I tell you, I write to you, you have to do opposite. Because no doubt my letters will be opened by the enemies of the faith. They will read it. So if I say come from the sea, come from the road. If I say come from the road, come from the sea. That's the meaning of it. You have to come. They brought that. But the beautiful part of that is that Abdul Baha said the body of the Bab should not be carried in unrespectful way. It should be carried like a king, with full respect. He said 8 people should accompany him. You have seen in these old movies, maybe, I don't know what, story of the War of the Throne. In the movie, you see how they carry the king and the queen. It's people, they carry them by hand. 4 people, every side of this. I saw in a dictionary, Takht Ravan is stretcher. Stretcher is not a good thing. Stretcher is for sick people, but the queen and the kings were also carried like that. It's a room that 4 people carried with full respect. They should go with full respect. But how you could do that? You want to bring a body out of the country and cross all of the borders. Imagine, the most #1 enemy of the Baha'is at that time was the Sultan, the prince that was bloodthirsty of the Baha'is and killed so many of the Baha'is. He had a very famous, a very powerful person in his court, like a minister. That was a Baha'i. He didn't know. Beloved guardian, beloved Abdul Baha wrote to him that you have to provide soldiers of the prince, the #1 enemy of the Bab, to carry him. 4 of them should carry, 4 of them should come. To the minute that they are tired, they replace each other. They have to carry them. They brought the body and all of that. It's so interesting, the whole story. They come, and I want to say the power of the God, that how no matter what people of the world they want to do, how majesty, with majesty and grace the things. Now, when they brought the body to at that time Palestine, it was Palestine. Mount Carmel was a part of Palestine. So it's most unsafe spot on earth at that time. Most spot. Turk soldiers were fighting. Turkai Javan, the young Turks, they were revolution there. Abdul Baha has written to all of the friends that every minute I may be killed. It's so unsafe. Now the body of the Bab has arrived to this place. Now God decides that this place should be the safest place on earth. Imagine, suddenly Jews were fighting. I don't know how long. God told them that you have to go back to Israel and protect the shrines, protect the holy shrines. Nobody else could do that. Today, it's the safest place on earth. Safest place on earth. I was, at the time that I was in Haifa, once a very, very famous general of the army, police, the head of the police of North, that all of the state of Galilee, including Haifa and Akka, he's the head of the police, came to the shrine to see the terraces and all of that with some of his generals. And I was guiding them, I was just welcoming them to show them around. He saw some of our Baha'i youth that they are security guards, very beautiful, smart, all of them very handsome and nice, and all of the Baha'is from every corner of the world, we have Baha'is. They have security guards. As we were going to the guard, some of them, they were standing there paying respect. He looked at them, he told me, Mr. Sahba, these security guards are very handsome, but they are not your security. Then he said, we are your security. security. He said, not a bird can fly over this without our knowledge. And I really thought about it. He's absolutely right. Then he told me, at that day when he said, anytime you need anything for this shrine, please let me know. I said, you know, some of our securities, they tell me that when they call police because they don't know Hebrew, they cannot communicate properly. He immediately said, write it. He gave me his own telephone number, cell phone. And then he took his deputy, another general. He said, give me your telephone. He gave me his telephone. They gave it to me. He said, call me. Anytime you have called me, this man. And believe me, when we wanted to do inauguration of the terraces, once Mr. Lincoln told me that we have to close the street, and it's because of we wanted to build an auditorium right at the middle of the street, cross of two streets of Haifa. We wanted to build an auditorium for people to sit and watch the inauguration. And to do this, it would take almost 1 week to do that, and you have to close the traffic because all of the buses and trucks, it's a very crowded part of the city. You could not build it, and during this event, no car can travel, can be there. So he said that they have sent a police, but he doesn't have any authority. Immediately, I called with cell phone. At that time, cell phones are big, this big. So I called cell phone, and I said to this general, I told him that you told me that you are, whenever we need your help. He said, right now we have a meeting there. He said, tell them, wait for me, I come. He came there and he told them that everything, he told the police in the area that for 1 week, close all of the doors. 1 full week, close it. This event should be the most prestigious and respectful. That's it. And today we have. Imagine where on earth we could have put Shrine of the Bab and Shrine of Baha'u'llah that would be so safe. Where we could have done it? Nowhere. United States? Where lots of hooligans would blast it. Europe? Forget about it. Anywhere, nowhere on earth it could last for 1 week. Today, the shrine is so safe and so and nothing is just fully guarded by God, by Baha'u'llah. That is why it has been. Now, I will show you some slides and just to give you the whole. You can see here the Mount Carmel at the time of when we had only shrine of the base of the shrine of the Bab at the center. This the part that Abdul Baha built. This was it only. This is where, and this is a street. This is now what is called Ben Gurion. This carriage that you see that. This is 1909. This is 1950, when Beloved Guardian started superstructure. And as you see, still the street was so narrow. Then 1960. This is right around the period of the passing of Beloved Guardian. Jerusalem Post has the national museum, a national newspaper of Israel has an article that describes that when you come from the top of the mountain and look down on the sea and you are going to think that you are flying over the Garden of Paradise. He describes that, and this is what the Bab said when he was in Maku. The source of inspiration of the terraces was several important things. One of them was architecture of the shrine by itself. Architecture of the shrine is so unique is combination of architecture of East and West in the most bold way that nobody have ever done that. Nowhere ever in the world you can see arches that are from India, and the dome that is Roman architecture, and the elements of architecture of the Iran, and everything. East and West mixed together. And so I have copied the same combination of East and West in the gardens. So, and you can see even how arches on the shrine has been reflected on the hand, on the balustrades of the gardens, terraces, and all of the elements of then gardens of East and gardens of the West have been combined in landscape. This is the way that water was used in the, this is Fin garden, Bab Fin Kashan, and this is Fin, and how the water really is one of the main elements of the Persian gardens. And anytime you search for Persian gardens on internet, several pictures comes in every page. Maybe there are about 20 pictures, at least 3 of every page is from Baha'i gardens. These gardens, a symbol of the Persian gardens, is now used in the world. Gardens of the West, English gardens, Italian gardens, and all of them. You can see the circle of the cypress trees where is marking the location that Baha'u'llah stood and showed the shrine to the Bab, to Abdul Baha. This is the bridge on Hatsianut Street, but we have combined together. This was one of the major problems of the terraces, that is cut, the property of the Baha'i property is cut by 3 of the four of the most important streets of city of Haifa. From Geffen, Abbas, then Hatsianut, and then Yefenov up there. They wanted to add another street also, that we cancel that street. Shrine, one of the most important requirements of the terraces of the shrine of the Bab is to pay tribute to the shrine and to enhance the, to complement the shrine. Not that becomes something independent by itself, that you put another beautiful things next to another beautiful things, that they compete with each other. But the one should completely, just like when you have a diamond ring, you don't want to have when you have a diamond, you don't want the ring to take over the beauty of the diamond. It should complement, it should put it out, it should bring it out, it should exaggerate it. That is why the terraces are, if you see, all the terraces are concave inside. We don't come out, and they are, light is so important in the day and night. You can see the contrast of lights have been used to the best possible way by different shades of green that beloved guardian said are the color of the Bab, the dark blue colors and the emerald green color of the cypress trees and grass, contrasting with each other, complementing each other. You see how they bring each. Look at the slope of this mountain. Sometimes it was more than 45 degrees. So its construction on this mountain was so difficult, so difficult. And now light at night is another very, very important thing, because one of the concepts is that when Bob was in prison of Maku, when he wrote that letter, that tablet to Shah of Iran, he said that there is not even one lamp at night in his presence. And because of that, Abdul Baha said, we will build terraces of lights, lights upon lights. These are all light everywhere, in the memory of dark nights of the Bab when he did not have even one light. Now, when at night the lights come on in Gudrun Street, when people in this street, when the cars are going, this is another 1 kilometer long street. At night, when the light comes on, traffic stops for a few minutes and people all watch the beauty of the mountain. You see the whole complex, terraces of lights, lights upon lights, sign of the hope. During the war, one of the wars, the government of Israel requested House of Justice that please do not switch off the lights of the shrine at night, because these are sign of hope for our people. So House of Justice approved that the lights should not go off at night. Water has been always a major source of architecture in Persian gardens, and I show you the Fien garden. As you see, the light that I have used, it's only exactly like gardens of Iran, clear crystal color of water, like a blue, like a crystal. And so that it's peaceful, it doesn't make noise. The voice of water attracts birds, and the voice of water and birds together camouflage the traffic of the city completely. There are numbers of fountains all along. We have designed the elements of garden like the fountains with computer, and the same drawing has gone to Italy, and they put it to special machines, and it cuts the marble exactly like your drawing. So the stone comes exactly like the drawing. This is the best marble of Carrara. This is the same marble that Michelangelo has used for his famous works like Pieta in Vatican. You have seen same marble. It's very, very special, very difficult to get. Colors are major elements of the building during different years, different months of the year. We have seasons: pink, purple season, red season, yellow season. That all of the flowers on the ground and the flowers of the trees are designed together so that they complement each other, match the colors together. And we have had several, and this project has won the best award for protection of environment, and because it was one of the major issues in Israel that we are cutting so many. To build the terraces, we had to excavate sometimes 15 meters, sometimes 30 meters of rock of the mountain. We have to excavate from one side and put it on another side. So all of the, when you make such an excavation, all of the insects, all of the good insects and reptiles, they escaped. And that is most harmful for the environment, because when they escape, the bad insects will stay, they are resistant. But the good insects that are useful for the plants, they escape. I brought a very wonderful scientist from Australia that his professionality was on this team to protect the insects. And you don't believe that we knew the number of the snakes, number of the turtles, and all of that. They existed on the mountain. They were numbered. They had passport. So how they say, and we had created a special havens, safe havens within our excavation that we are excavating. We put some like fingers on the side of the mountain that they are protected and nobody goes in it. So the insect that escape, they go there and they live there. They live there. and they were protected and feeded and all of that. They were taken care of. And when we built the gardens, then we have a special plan, encourage them, invite them back, so that they come to the, and this whole thing won the best award, what is known as realization of dream of a beautiful Israel. I show you the picture, the president of Israel giving us the award of the beautiful Israel for what we did for protection of even the insects of the mountain, so that, and people that they had said what you are doing with the gardens and all of that, we showed them, we took them to the places where all of the trees from the mountain were removed, moved to that place, feeded and taken care of that, and we brought them back, so that they are not destroyed. Otherwise, thousands of trees would have been destroyed.
To visions, close one eye and open the other, close one to the world and all that is there is. Open the other to the hallowed beauty of the beloved. Grieve thou not over the troubles and hardships of this nether world, nor be thou glad in times of ease and comfort, for both shall pass away. This present life is even as a swelling wave, or a mirage, or drifting shadows. Oh, man of to be